Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the silent threat inside your body has been slowly building for years. Clogged arteries, rising cholesterol, and a heart working harder than it should. Most people believe that fixing this problem requires expensive medications or complicated diets. But what if I told you that some of the most powerful heart-protecting foods are already sitting in your kitchen? Small, sweet, and dried by nature. Today we're talking about 4 incredible dried fruits that can help lower cholesterol, support healthy blood flow, and help keep your arteries clean and flexible. And the science behind these foods may surprise you. Right now, inside millions of human bodies, something silent is happening. Tiny particles of cholesterol are moving through the bloodstream, circulating day after day, year after year. At first it's harmless, but slowly, quietly, these particles begin to stick to the delicate walls of the arteries. Layer by layer, plaque begins to form. Blood flow becomes tighter, narrower, more restricted. And the frightening truth is that most people feel absolutely nothing while this is happening. No pain, no warning, until one day the heart struggles, the brain is deprived of oxygen, and a life-changing event occurs. But what if the body had a natural defense system? Something simple, something found in everyday foods, that could actually help remove excess cholesterol before it ever reaches the arteries. That defense system exists, and it's called soluble fiber. Soluble fiber is one of the most powerful natural tools for controlling cholesterol levels inside the human body. Yet millions of people overlook it every single day. According to research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, diets rich in soluble fiber can significantly reduce LDL cholesterol, the dangerous type often called bad cholesterol. And LDL is the very particle responsible for forming the plaque that clogs arteries and restricts blood flow. But here's where it becomes fascinating. Soluble fiber doesn't just sit passively in the digestive system. It performs a remarkable biological function. When soluble fiber enters the digestive tract, it absorbs water and forms a thick gel-like substance. This gel moves slowly through the intestines, acting almost like a natural filter. As it travels, it traps cholesterol particles and bile acids that contain cholesterol. Instead of allowing these substances to be reabsorbed into the bloodstream, soluble fiber escorts them out of the body. In other words, every time soluble fiber passes through the digestive system, it's helping remove cholesterol that might otherwise contribute to artery damage. Now here's the surprising part. Some of the most concentrated sources of soluble fiber are not found in fancy supplements or expensive health products. They're found in simple dried fruits that people have been eating for centuries. Take dried figs, for example. Just a few dried figs contain a powerful amount of soluble fiber. When consumed regularly, this fiber works inside the digestive tract to capture cholesterol molecules and remove them before they circulate through the bloodstream. Studies show that increasing dietary fiber intake can reduce LDL cholesterol by up to 10% or more in certain individuals. That's a meaningful reduction when it comes to protecting the heart and blood vessels. But the story doesn't stop with figs. Prunes, also known as dried plums, are another incredible source of soluble fiber. These small, wrinkled fruits are often associated with digestion, but their cardiovascular benefits are just as impressive. Researchers studying prunes have found that their unique combination of soluble fiber and polyphenols helps reduce cholesterol absorption and improve overall lipid profiles. Think about what that means. Every bite of a fiber-rich dried fruit is not just food. It's a biological tool working inside the body, quietly supporting the delicate balance of cholesterol metabolism. Now imagine this happening day after day. Each meal containing soluble fiber slowly reduces the amount of cholesterol circulating in the bloodstream. Over time, this can translate into less plaque forming inside arteries, better blood flow, and a lower risk of cardiovascular disease. And cardiovascular disease is not a small issue. According to the World Health Organization, heart disease remains the #1 cause of death worldwide. Millions of people suffer heart attacks and strokes every single year. Yet many of these cases are strongly linked to lifestyle factors, including diet and cholesterol levels. This is why something as simple as fiber becomes incredibly powerful. Because when cholesterol levels drop, the entire cardiovascular system benefits. Blood vessels remain more flexible. Circulation improves. The heart doesn't have to pump as forcefully to move blood through narrowed pathways. But soluble fiber does something else that many people don't realize. When bile acids are removed from the body by fiber, the liver must produce more bile to replace them. To do this, the liver pulls cholesterol out of the bloodstream and converts it into new bile acids. This process further reduces circulating cholesterol levels. It's a remarkable cycle. Fiber removes bile acids. The liver uses cholesterol to make more bile. Blood cholesterol decreases, and the arteries receive a powerful layer of protection. Now think about how simple this can be in everyday life. A small portion of dried figs in the morning, a few prunes as an afternoon snack. These foods are not exotic. They are affordable, accessible, and easy to include in daily meals. And yet their impact inside the body can be profound. Over weeks and months, consistent intake of soluble fiber can help reshape the body's internal environment. Cholesterol levels gradually improve. Blood flow becomes smoother. The risk of plaque accumulation begins to decline. This is not an overnight miracle. It's something even more powerful. It's a daily biological advantage. Because the human body is constantly adapting to the choices we make every day. Each meal sends signals to our metabolism. Each nutrient either contributes to inflammation and damage or supports healing and protection. And soluble fiber belongs firmly in the second category. It works quietly, it works consistently, and it works with the body's natural systems rather than against them. Researchers have repeatedly confirmed that populations consuming high-fiber diets tend to experience significantly lower rates of heart disease. These diets often include fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and fiber-rich plant foods. But dried fruits hold a special advantage. When fruit is dried, the fiber becomes concentrated. The water is removed, leaving behind a dense package of nutrients and soluble fiber that can easily be added to daily meals. Just a few pieces can deliver meaningful amounts of fiber that support cholesterol reduction. And the beauty of it is simplicity. No complicated diet plans, no expensive supplements, just real foods working with the body's natural design. But here's the key that many people miss. Fiber must be consumed consistently to produce lasting benefits. One serving today will not transform cholesterol levels tomorrow, but small, steady habits repeated every day create powerful long-term changes inside the body. The arteries you protect today may protect your life years from now, and that is why something as small as soluble fiber deserves far more attention than it receives. Because sometimes the most powerful health tools are not dramatic or complicated. Sometimes they are quiet, natural, and patiently working behind the scenes. Every time soluble fiber passes through your body, it is performing a silent task, capturing cholesterol, supporting circulation, and helping defend the delicate highways that carry blood to every organ you depend on. And the incredible part is that this protection can begin with something as simple as a handful of dried fruit. Deep inside your arteries, an invisible battle is taking place every second of your life. Your heart pumps nearly 100,000 times a day, pushing blood through a vast network of vessels that stretch over 60,000 miles throughout the human body. These arteries are meant to be smooth, flexible highways for oxygen and nutrients. But for millions of people, something dangerous begins to unfold on those delicate walls. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens silently, slowly, molecule by molecule. One of the greatest enemies of your arteries is not just cholesterol itself, but something far more destructive: oxidized cholesterol. Most people have heard about LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol. But what many people don't realize is that LDL becomes truly dangerous when it undergoes oxidation. Oxidation is a chemical reaction that occurs when LDL particles are attacked by unstable molecules known as free radicals. These unstable molecules damage the LDL particles, transforming them into a toxic form that the body treats like a threat. And when oxidized LDL circulates through the bloodstream, it sticks to the inner lining of the arteries like glue. This is the beginning of plaque formation. Your immune system reacts to oxidized LDL as if it were an invader. White blood cells rush to the site and attempt to consume these damaged particles. But in the process, they transform into what scientists call foam cells. These foam cells accumulate within the artery wall, forming fatty streaks that slowly grow thicker over time. This is how arteries begin to clog. This is how blood flow becomes restricted. And this is how heart attacks and strokes eventually occur, But the human body also has powerful natural defenses against this process. One of the most important defenses is antioxidants. Antioxidants are molecules that neutralize free radicals before they can damage cholesterol and blood vessels. They protect LDL from becoming oxidized, preventing the chain reaction that leads to plaque buildup. In simple terms, antioxidants help keep cholesterol in a safer form so it can be processed and removed by the body instead of sticking to your arteries. Now here's where nature reveals something remarkable. Some of the most powerful antioxidant compounds are found in certain dried fruits. These small foods may look simple on the outside, but inside they contain complex plant chemicals that scientists have been studying for decades. Among the most impressive of these compounds are polyphenols and resveratrol. Let's start with polyphenols. Polyphenols are natural plant compounds that act like shields against oxidative damage. When you consume foods rich in polyphenols, these compounds circulate through your bloodstream and help neutralize free radicals before they can attack cholesterol particles. Dried fruits such as dates contain particularly high levels of polyphenols. In fact, research has shown that dates have antioxidant levels comparable to some of the most celebrated superfoods. These compounds work to reduce inflammation within blood vessels and protect the delicate endothelial lining of the arteries. That lining is critically important. The endothelium is the thin layer of cells that lines every blood vessel in your body. It controls blood flow, regulates blood pressure, and prevents harmful substances from sticking to artery walls. When the endothelium becomes damaged by oxidative stress, cholesterol can more easily penetrate the artery wall and begin forming plaque. Antioxidants help protect this fragile barrier. They calm inflammation, they stabilize the cells that line the arteries, and they reduce the oxidative reactions that turn normal LDL into dangerous oxidized LDL. But another compound found in dried fruits has captured the attention of scientists around the world. That compound is resveratrol. Resveratrol is most commonly associated with grapes, and because raisins are simply dried grapes, they contain concentrated amounts of this powerful molecule. Resveratrol has been studied extensively for its potential to support heart health and longevity. In laboratory studies and human research, resveratrol has demonstrated the ability to reduce oxidative stress, improve blood vessel function, and protect against inflammation. One of its most fascinating effects is its ability to help maintain flexibility in the arteries. Healthy arteries must remain elastic. They must expand and contract with every heartbeat to accommodate the constant flow of blood. But oxidative stress can cause arteries to stiffen over time. When arteries become stiff, blood pressure rises, circulation worsens, and the heart must work harder to push blood through the system. Resveratrol helps counteract this process. It supports the production of nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels and allows them to widen. When nitric oxide levels are healthy, arteries stay flexible and blood flows more smoothly. This reduces the strain on the heart and improves oxygen delivery throughout the body. Think about the chain reaction this creates. Antioxidants reduce oxidative damage. Reduced oxidative damage prevents LDL oxidation. Less oxidized LDL means less plaque forming inside arteries. Healthier arteries mean better blood flow. And better blood flow means every organ in the body receives the oxygen and nutrients it needs to function properly. Your brain depends on this circulation. Your muscles depend on it. Your heart depends on it most of all. This is why researchers continue to emphasize the importance of antioxidant-rich foods in the diet. Diets abundant in plant antioxidants have consistently been associated with lower rates of cardiovascular disease across many populations around the world. And dried fruits play a unique role here, because when fruits are dried, many of their antioxidant compounds become more concentrated. The removal of water leaves behind a dense source of polyphenols, vitamins, minerals, and protective plant chemicals. Just a small handful can deliver a meaningful dose of these protective compounds, but there is something even more powerful happening beneath the surface. Antioxidants don't just protect arteries in the present moment. They help slow the long-term aging process of blood vessels. Over time, oxidative stress contributes to the gradual wear and tear of the cardiovascular system. Arteries become less flexible, plaque accumulates, circulation becomes less efficient. But when antioxidant defenses are strong, this process can slow dramatically. It's like giving your arteries an extra layer of armor against the constant chemical stress occurring inside the body. And that armor can come from something as simple as a handful of raisins or a few naturally sweet dates added to your daily routine. Small choices repeated every day shape the chemistry of your bloodstream. They influence how much oxidative damage occurs. They influence how your arteries age. And ultimately, they influence how well your heart continues to beat year after year. Inside your body right now, trillions of chemical reactions are taking place. Some of them lead toward damage and disease, others lead toward protection and repair. Antioxidants help push that balance toward protection. They defend the fragile inner surfaces of your arteries. They prevent cholesterol from becoming toxic. And they help preserve the smooth pathways that allow blood to travel freely throughout your body. All from compounds that nature quietly placed inside fruits long before modern medicine ever discovered them. Most people believe heart disease appears suddenly. One day everything feels normal, and the next day a heart attack changes everything. But science tells a very different story. Long before any symptoms appear, long before chest pain or shortness of breath, the body has already been sending signals for years. Inside the arteries, microscopic changes slowly begin to take place. Cholesterol particles start to accumulate. Blood vessels become slightly less flexible. Inflammation quietly grows beneath the surface. And the frightening truth is that this process often begins decades before the first warning sign ever appears. Yet there is another truth that is just as powerful. The body is constantly responding to the habits we repeat every single day. Every meal we eat, every nutrient we consume, every small daily choice sends chemical signals throughout the bloodstream. These signals influence cholesterol levels, blood pressure, inflammation, circulation, and even the strength of the heart itself. Over time, these signals accumulate. They shape the environment inside your arteries. They either push the body toward disease or guide it back toward balance. This is why simple daily habits can become powerful tools for protecting the cardiovascular system. One of the most fascinating discoveries in nutritional science is that consistent, small dietary choices can produce measurable improvements in heart health. Not dramatic crash diets, not extreme lifestyle changes, but steady, repeatable habits practiced day after day. And among the simplest of these habits is the daily consumption of certain nutrient-dense foods. Dried fruits such as dates, raisins, figs, and prunes may appear small and ordinary, but inside them exists a remarkable combination of fiber, antioxidants, minerals, and plant compounds that work together to support the cardiovascular system. These nutrients influence several critical mechanisms that determine whether arteries remain clear or gradually become clogged. Let's start with cholesterol balance. Research consistently shows that diets rich in fiber and plant nutrients help reduce LDL cholesterol levels. Lower LDL means fewer cholesterol particles circulating in the bloodstream that could potentially lodge in the artery walls. Over time, this reduces the likelihood of plaque formation. But the benefits extend far beyond cholesterol alone. Dried fruits also supply potassium, magnesium, and natural plant antioxidants that support healthy blood pressure and blood vessel function. Potassium plays a particularly important role. According to the American Heart Association, adequate potassium intake helps counteract the harmful effects of excess sodium, relaxing blood vessel walls and allowing blood to flow more freely. Magnesium contributes in another powerful way. This mineral helps regulate the contraction and relaxation of blood vessels, ensuring that arteries remain flexible rather than stiff. When arteries lose their flexibility, blood pressure rises, and the heart must work harder to pump blood throughout the body. Now imagine the cumulative effect of these nutrients when consumed consistently. Every day, small amounts of fiber help remove cholesterol from the digestive system. Antioxidants reduce oxidative stress in the bloodstream. Potassium supports balanced blood pressure. Magnesium helps maintain flexible blood vessels. Individually, these actions may seem small, but together they create a powerful environment that favors cardiovascular protection. This is the true power of daily nutrition. It works quietly in the background, gradually reshaping the internal chemistry of the body. Consider this: the heart beats more than 35 million times every single year. With each beat, blood travels through arteries that must remain clear and elastic to deliver oxygen to the brain, muscles, and vital organs. If these pathways narrow even slightly, the heart must generate more pressure to maintain circulation. Over years, that additional pressure becomes strain. That strain increases the risk of hypertension, arterial damage, and eventually life-threatening cardiovascular events. But when daily habits support healthier arteries, the opposite occurs. Blood flows more smoothly. The heart pumps with less resistance. The entire circulatory system functions with greater efficiency. And this is where the concept of small daily habits becomes so powerful, because dramatic health transformations rarely occur through sudden actions. Instead, they happen through repetition. The foods you eat every morning, the snacks you choose during the day, the habits that become part of your routine without even thinking about them. When those habits include nutrient-dense foods like dried fruits, the body receives consistent support for its natural protective systems. Think of it as building a daily shield around your cardiovascular health. Each serving contributes fiber that helps regulate cholesterol. Each bite delivers antioxidants that defend blood vessels from damage. Each portion supplies minerals that support circulation and blood pressure control. Over weeks and months, these small inputs accumulate into meaningful biological changes. Cholesterol markers begin to improve. Blood pressure stabilizes. Blood vessels respond more efficiently to the demands of circulation. Even the gut microbiome becomes involved in this process. Recent research has revealed that the trillions of bacteria living in the digestive tract play a surprising role in heart health. Fiber-rich foods feed beneficial gut bacteria, which then produce compounds known as short-chain fatty acids. These compounds help regulate inflammation, cholesterol metabolism, and even blood pressure. In other words, the foods you eat are not only nourishing your own cells, they are nourishing an entire ecosystem inside your body that contributes to your cardiovascular health. And this ecosystem thrives on fiber-rich plant foods like dried fruits. What makes this approach even more powerful is its simplicity. You don't need extreme diets or complicated meal plans to begin supporting your heart. A few dates with breakfast, a handful of raisins during the day, a couple of dried figs as a snack, a few prunes in the evening. These small additions take seconds to incorporate into a daily routine. Yet the compounds inside them continue working for hours inside the body. They influence digestion, cholesterol metabolism, antioxidant defenses, and vascular health in ways that science is still discovering. But the most important factor is consistency. One healthy meal cannot undo years of unhealthy habits, but a steady pattern of nutritious choices can slowly reshape the body's internal environment. The arteries that carry blood to your brain, your heart, your lungs, and every cell in your body respond to the signals you send through your diet. Every day, you are either feeding the processes that damage blood vessels or supporting the systems that protect them. And the remarkable truth is that protection often begins with the smallest actions. A handful of nutrient-rich foods, a routine repeated each day, a quiet commitment to choices that strengthen the body rather than weaken it. Over time, those small choices become powerful allies for your heart. They help keep the highways of your circulatory system open, flexible, and resilient. And they remind us of a profound truth discovered by modern science and ancient wisdom alike. Health is rarely built through dramatic moments. It is built through simple habits repeated faithfully, day after day, quietly shaping the future of the body from the inside out.